Heidi ho, my crafty friends. How are you today? I hope everyone's doing well. And I hope if you're in some of the snow and ice craziness that's going on, that you're safe and you're warm and you haven't gotten out and involved in it. Here in where I am in Pennsylvania, we have, probably about, now I've got probably about 9 inches on the ground and waiting for a little bit more today. So I'm hanging out in the house, talking to my friends here on my channel. So I'm glad you've joined me today. So I told you in the last video that I was going to show you how I did this. Now, of course, this is not an original idea. And I'm going to link the channel. Her name is Wendy, and it's Wendy's Journaling Adventures. And I'm going to link her channel. And when I saw this, she's my little crafting buddy. I just thought she was the most clever thing ever. And it's a little double belly band. And, of course, I haven't gotten anything in it yet because I haven't got it made. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So to do that, you need 2 pieces of paper. And we're going to make them, since I already have one in the journal, we're going to put one in our idea book. So you need to choose your page in your journal where you want it to go, okay? And somebody asked me about making an idea book, and we are going to make one of those coming up. So we are going to make one of those. So I think I want to put it right here on this page, okay? Now, it has to be a fairly sturdy page. So to do that, I need to glue these 2 pages together, okay? So while we're creating of this, I'm going to go on and glue these together. So I'm just going to run some glue here real quick. Now, it doesn't have to be, but my pages are just like really thin pages. So it doesn't have to be like the most sturdy page or a big thick cardstock page. It just can't be a real thin page like what I have here. My pages just that I've chosen are just really thin. But it's kind of, they're 2 of the only pages that I have that are empty back to back. Okay. So, now that I've got it down and I've got it glued, I'm just going to take a paper towel and I'm going to run it over it and kind of smush that glue out. Now, if you want to decorate this page further, now's your opportunity. Because this is just white. That's just all there is to it. So, if I wanted to decorate it anymore, say by stenciling, stamping, now's my opportunity to do it. But since it's just an idea book, I'm not going to worry about it. If it was my regular journal, I would go to town on it. See, I could have even done it on these pages here. I didn't even go back far enough, did I? I could have done it on these pages, but these are even thinner. And then I would have interfered with my pretty little bird, my pretty little hummingbird. So I'm just going to keep it here. This is a good thickness to do this on. So, but I'm not ready to do it yet, so I'm going to let my glue dry. And I'm sitting it over on my little table. Now, I want this page, which I've glued to cardstock, okay, to look like this page. Just kind of haphazard and just kind of worn and things like that. Now, for this project, you're going to need your crocodile, and you're going to need some eyelets. You're going to need your glue. Now, glue is not mandatory. I just put glue in to hold my knot that I made. That's where I use the glue. So it's 1 dot. It's 1 dot of glue on each little knot. That's all it is. That's the only time you're going to need your glue. And I use these little bulb pins down here to hold on to my charm. And then I'm also using the Ideology collage paper. Now, if you don't have Ideology collage paper by Tim Holtz, that's okay. You don't have to. Use tissue paper. because that's all this stuff is. It's just printed tissue paper. So get in your birthday supplies, get in your Christmas supplies. Just get white tissue paper. Did you know you can coffee dye tissue paper and stencil it? There you go. Go to town on it. Just be gentle. Be gentle when you do it because it will tear. And create your own. Any pattern you want. Because that's all this is. I have it in my stash. I'm going to use it. I'm trying not to buy any more supplies for the month of January. I'm actually going to see how long I can go and not buy any more supplies. You guys do not know how hard this has been because they have come out with so many cool things for the new year. But I'm standing by it. So this is how I'm going to make this one look like this one. And I haven't inked this yet because I wanted to show you guys how I make them look kind of scruffly. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to take my Oohoo glue stick. And I'm just going to start adding glue. And you know how usually we say, add a lot of glue, make sure you get the edges, make sure you do this. I'm not going to tell you that this time. I'm just going to tell you add some glue. And then I'm going to take this and I'm just going to stick it down in the glue. And wherever it glues, that's where it glues. Okay? If it gets wrinkly, it gets wrinkly. I'm going to tear a piece off to pick up some of the other glue. I'm going to put some, all I'm doing is making a collage with it. That's all I'm doing. And I'm just going to give it a minute. I'm even encouraging some wrinkles. And down here where it didn't glue, oh, it did glue. That's okay. I don't mind it getting wrinkly and torn. Remember, I want it to look old. I want it to look worn. Okay, there's no glue on top of this, so I'm going to pull that off. Now, I do have some glue here. So I'm going to take this little piece I just tore off, put it there, but there's no glue coming off the edge, so I'm going to pull this off. You're just creating a collage of tissue paper, of printed tissue paper. That's all you're doing. Okay? Now, you're just going to let this dry for a minute. Because if you start pulling on it now, it's going to pull off everything that you've glued down. Okay? So you can go over it with your fingers, and if you feel like something is, you know, not in the glue, then that's okay. So I'm just going to let it sit here and dry for a minute. And what dries, dries. I'm not going to worry about it because I'm going to take it back up again. So now I'm going to take, and we're going to work on the one that I've already done because it is dry. I did it last night. And I'm just using my vintage photo. That's all I'm going to use. Now, this one's going to look different than this one. And I'm just going to go over the top of this because I want to pick up some of my wrinkles. I tend to make my idea book my second idea of something. So if I do something in my idea book, and then I look at it and go, oh yeah, I could have done it this way too, then that's what your idea books are for. They're to give you an idea of how to do something. You know what I mean? They're just to spark an idea. Okay, so this, I can go on and pull that up. Okay, do you see where I'm going with it? Anything that pulls up gives you a rough edge. Now, if you don't like this, if you don't like these torn edges, if you don't like this scruffly look, like I'm doing, then don't do this. By all means, don't do this. Keep the paper like it was. Okay, just keep it like it was. I happen to like this look. My husband, on the other hand, he hates it. He absolutely hates it. He would come in here, he would throw this away, and he'd say, let me just go buy you a new pack of paper. After I spent an hour getting it to look as old and scruffly as I possibly could, he would come in here and he'd shake his head and go, I will buy you a new pack of paper. I'm serious, he would. Okay. So that's the look I'm going for. Okay, kind of scruffy, kind of vintage, you know, that kind of look. All right, so let me put those torn pieces in there. Now I'm going to just put that over there. I'm going to see what else dried over here. Where's my top? There it is. All right, let's see what's dried here that we can peel off a little bit of. All right, so we can take some of this off. Oh, that's good. Now let's see down here what we can get off. Now remember, I can feel the glue. It's not all the way dry yet. Still a little damp. Now you can use your heat gun on it if you need to. Yeah, it's still a little wet, but that's all right. I'm just going to turn it the other way. See how much of it sticks. Let's see if some of it sticks over here. Okay, it's going to stick on that side. What about over here? Some of it. You can use a heat gun on it if you want, you know, to get it to dry. Or if you're like me, do this. I usually do things like this and then I go eat lunch. Or I go throw in a load of laundry. Or, you know, if I'm really impatient, then I do get the heat gun out. There we go. There's a good piece coming off. See, I can still see my strawberries underneath. And that's kind of my goal. I want to see my strawberries. There we go. I want to try to get back down there to them so I can at least see a piece of them. Let's see here. Let's see if I can use this little tool to maybe get down to a piece of them. Yeah, that's it. Okay, there. That's better. Yeah, my glue is starting to dry really well now. Okay. That's good. Okay, it's not wet over here. Okay, I can see a little bit of it over here. The only thing I don't like about this is how messy it is. I'm messy enough as it is. I don't particularly need any more help. Let's see about this little piece here. Let's see. Just going to use my fingernail here. Oh, there's a little piece coming up. That's too soft. Let's try this little tool. Let's see. I don't want to use anything sharp because I'm afraid it'll go right through it. There it is. There's a little piece. Okay, I just want to pull a little more piece off here. There. Reminds me of just, my cousin refurbishes old houses. And she loves vintage. She loves it. And when she goes into old houses, she tries to restore them back to their... Okay, I'm going to have to because I can't get a hold of that. She tries to restore them back to their... there it is. Back to their original, their original glory. And she has gone into houses and had wallpaper peeling like this. And, tried to find the originals. And, of course, she hasn't been able to. So she was showing my sister and I a house that she redid. And she did something, she did a... Hold on a second, I'm losing my train of thought. She redid... There. She did a ladies' sewing room. There. It was a little sewing nook that she did. Now you can see them right there. And what the wallpaper in it was peeling. So she took sewing paper, and where it was peeling, she coffee dyed the sewing paper. Just like we regular coffee dye paper. And she went over top of some of the area, and she used some of that for the wallpaper. Oh my gosh, you guys. It was the coolest looking room. Now, it wasn't the whole room done like that. It was just a little nook, kind of like a little closet. And it did have a little door on it. So, you know, if you didn't really want to see it, you didn't have to see it. But, oh my gosh, it looked so cool. And so if you wanted to use it for a crafting space or a dressing area or a sewing room, I guess you could. And the people that she was refinishing the house for, they loved it. She's a very talented young lady, my cousin. Okay, some of this, a little more of this is coming up than I want here at the top. So I'm going to glue some of that back down. It must not have gotten in the glue. All right, I want to glue some of this up at the top down. First, you know what? First, let's cut it and see where it's going to end up. Okay, so now we need to figure out the size of our page and the width that we're going to want. So these belly bands, I think, are 2.5 inches wide. These are 2.5 inches wide, and they are, let's see, how long are they? And I made them 6 inches long. Okay. Now, you can make yours any size you choose. Okay. So you make yours any size you choose. Now, the page in my idea book is a lot smaller than my journal. This page is only, let's see, it's 7.25 inches long. And it's only 5 inches wide. So I'm going to make this belly band. Let's see. I'm going to fold this paper. And I think I'm only going to make this belly band. Now I'm going to cut this. I'm not going to leave it this size, but I want to see if this is the size I want. I think that's about the size that I want it right there. That's the width that I want it. So, and I think that's what I want right there. So I just need to trim that off with my trimmer. And I need to, on here, I need to do the same thing, but I want to include those strawberries. So, let's get our paper cutter here. Okay, I'm done with this right now. Let's get that out of the way. And I'm done with the tissue. Let's get that out of the way. Okay, so we need to cut right here. That's where we need to cut. Okay. Okay, so there's one. Now let's trim the paper up. Let's trim this one. Let's make sure this one is straight. Oh, I forgot to glue this one onto cardstock. Okay, and there's the second one. All right, so let's see here. Where's my cardstock at? That I was using. Let's see. Do I have a piece here? No. Got a great big circle out of that piece. All right, let's glue this on here real quick. There's one. Okay, now you do need to, if you're using thin paper like I am, you do need to have them on cardstock. No, and I'm just using the brown craft cardstock. It just gives them a little bit of heft, because we are going to kind of oomph them a little bit. And when you add your eyelets to them, makes them respond a little bit better. Okay, now I worked, when I did my original ones, the one thing that I found most difficult was lining them up on the page. Oops, cut right through the page. That was the thing I found the hardest to do. Okay, done with that. That was the thing I found the hardest to do, was lining them up on my page. Because, you know, they don't go top and bottom on my page. So, here they are. So, to make it easier for you, you can, if they are the same length on your page, it'll be a whole lot easier. So if you make your belly bands the same length as your page, this whole process will be a lot easier. So you want to line them up together. And I use a paper clip. You can use a little bully clamp. You can use whatever you have. It just doesn't matter. But you want them to stay together. Okay? So paper clip them together. Oh, come on, you silly thing. There. So you want to put them together so they're not wiggling around. And you want to make sure that they're even. Top and bottom is the important thing, to be even. See, mine aren't exactly the same width. That's okay. But top and bottom is the important thing. So lay them on your page. And I didn't even get them the same length again. Well, darn. Okay. So I don't need these. I don't need these scraps. So take your crocodile, and through here, now I'm just going to use the 1/8. And if you'll remember, it's marked right here on the side, 1/8 and 3/16. Now, I'm just going to use the 1/8. Okay, that's the small hole. Now I have them punched together. So I'm going to come in. Now you want to make sure that this can come in. So on this, so you can't go in much further than that. And that's too far. So I'm only coming in. You can set this for your width, for your depth, I mean. So there is a little mark on here. The first big mark. Okay, that's too far. Here's where I have it. You have your big mark, then you have 1, 2, 3, 4. See that little mark right there? that's where you want to put your space. So slide that up to there. Now, all 4 holes that you punch will be spaced evenly. They'll all be the same. Don't move it. Okay? Now I'm wiggling these, so I'm putting more paper clips on them. Moving them around is not a good thing. Okay? So now that I have that marked, I can put that in there, and I'm lining it up. I'm lining this up with the edge of the page. And I'm going there. And then over here, there's another one. See it right there? I'm lining it up over here. And that's too far. I don't want it there. I don't want it over here because that's too far. I want to bring it in a little bit. There are those 2 holes. Excuse me, hold on a second. I need to take a drink of water. I'm so sorry. This cold has got my throat so dry. Now up here, I'm lining it up. And I punched. Line it up. And I scooted it over. Now both of these are punched exactly the same. Okay? Take these, lay them on your page exactly where you want them. Take a pencil. And draw your holes. Okay, now you have the holes for one of them. Now I'm taking the paper clips off of one side. And I'm sliding out the bottom one just a little bit. So that I can mark. Okay, I want to line my holes up. And I want to line. I'm just making a line on here. Okay. Now, I also need to know how far down from the top that line needs to match up with. So from the top, that line is, I'm sorry, my head was in the way. I didn't mean to do that. Well, you might still see my head anyhow. From the top, my top, it's a 1/2 inch. Okay. And then from the bottom, so I'm going to write on the back, 1/2. And then on the bottom, sorry, the glare's in my eyes. It looks like it's 6/8. I know, screwy measurements. I should have scooted it up a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to measure up here. You can scoot yours and make yours however you choose. But I just figured out what I could do. Okay, I'm going to scoot this back. Oops. Scoot that back. You don't have to do that. Take your punch. Now, see that hole? If you look through that hole, you can see where you're going to punch. No more silly measuring, you silly woman. You marked your holes. Silly girl. So, okay, you are going to see my head for a minute. Hold on a minute. Sorry. You are going to see my head for just a minute. Sorry about that, because I can't see the holes otherwise. I'm lining up that hole within that punch hole. And there's one. Okay? That was why I drew the circle. I don't know why I was measuring. I'm a silly woman. My husband was in my brain. That's what he would have done. Man, math. They always make things harder. Sorry, I know you're seeing my head. I'm trying not to, but I know you probably are. Okay, so what I did was I drew, I drew my circles, and then I put those circles in that little hole, and I just punched. Okay, so now my holes line up with these holes. I didn't need to measure. You don't have to measure. Forget that silliness. Okay, so now they all line up. They can go there. That one's going to go there. Good golly gracious. Okay, so make sure that this part is set up for your small eyelet. So you're going to flip it over, and you want this to be D, and you want this one, hold on, I got to flip it, to say, you want it to be the little gold one that says 3. And the number is right there. I don't know if you can see it. It's right there on the corner. It's the little gold. It looks like a little gold spaceship. Right next to it is the little copper colored spaceship. That's a number 4. It will splay the back of your eyelets out. Number 3 will splay them in. So it depends on how you want it to look. Okay. So now we're going to put our eyelets in. Maybe, if I can find them. What'd I do with them? Oh, here they are. They're under our journal. So now you're going to choose the eyelets that you want. Now, I don't have very many eyelets in the little ones. But I think for this color, I'm going to use my lighter colored ones. And I get mine on Amazon. Make sure my writing's going the right way. And you just put your eyelet in. You put it through your hole. You put that little post. Oops. Has to go through both belly bands. Come on. Come on, belly band. Get over there where you're supposed to be. The hardest part is getting the belly bands to behave themselves. There we go. And then you just squeeze. Once you get the first one in, there you go. Then you're ready to roll. Now where'd the rest of them go? Now I do one side and then I do the others. It's easier if I can get them lined up. That way they stop wiggling. Okay. And you're going to do this 4 times. Now, once you get your one top and one bottom end, the others will line up and it'll stop wiggling around on you. Come on. Oops. Now you can decorate these belly bands further if you choose, with stamps, with stencils, you know, anything you want. You can even do that before you put them in if you want. Okay, so now our belly bands are attached. Now I'm going to close this up and put it away because I am notorious for knocking things over. Okay, so now, and I don't need this anymore. So now I'm going to take our little strips of fabric. This is just a piece of cotton fabric that I tore up. It's just got little, what are they? Looks like little stars on it. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it one piece through the top. Now, if you don't have a piece of fabric, you can use ribbon. Ribbon looks pretty. You can use a piece of sari silk. You can use anything you want. You can use lace. I almost used lace on these. I just didn't have any that was small enough. And then you can tie it. You can tie it in a knot. You can tie it in a bow. You can even use twine if you want to use twine. Now, this is where your glue comes in under here, and I'm going to show you that in just a minute. Now, I'm going to do the back the same way. I'm going to poke this through the front, or into the front, so I can get a hold of it. And I just use this little pokey tool that I got at the Dollar Tree to help me poke it through. Oops, missed it. Come on. Here we go. Now I had two pieces. One was a little bit longer than the other. So I put the longer piece on the bottom. Now here's where that little dab of glue was I was telling you about. Before I tie these in a knot, I'm just using art glitter glue. On my first tie, I stick a little bit of glue in there, just like that. I'm just putting a little bit of glue in there. And then I tie it. Now, this one I'm not going to tie yet because that's where I'm going to put my charm. And I think these, no, they're not crooked. It's just my page that's crooked because I'm messing with it. And I'm going to do the same up here. So I'm going to untie my knot because I'm going to show you where I put the glue with the knot. And up here, this is before I even tie it shut. I put a little bit of glue right there. And then when I pull it, the glue goes into it. And then when I tie my knot, whatever glue has seeped out helps hold this knot so that it doesn't come untied. And that's especially important if you're using twine, because twine will come untied over time. Now, down here, this time, I want to use another. I want to use another of these little bulb pins. And a little black dilly bob. Except I don't want to put it at the bottom. I want to put it up at the top. Okay, and I want that ribbon to hang out the bottom. Uh-oh. Back here, you. Okay, so before I put anything on my little bulb pin, I take my bulb pin and I go on and clip it on like that. I want to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. Yeah, you can. Okay, so I go on and clip it on. Now I want to use one of my little ladybug things this time. And I think I want to use this one. Now I want to put that on there. And then I want to put this little back. Come here, you. I want to put that on there. That just helps keep it from bouncing around. And then I just lay it sideways. And that lets it sit just like that. Now, what you could do also is you could put the ladybug on first. Here, let me show you. Let me take these off here and I'll show you. You can put this on first. Actually, put the ladybug on first. And then put this little guy on. Whoops, come back here, you. Put these guys on first. Then put this on. Except I always put my charms on backwards. Never fails. Come here. And these little dealy bobs I can never hold on to. And now hook it into your fabric. Just like that. And it'll hang down like that. So you can do it that way also, if you like that better. Okay, so now you've got a double belly band that's attached. Let me show you the other side. And you can do the same thing on the other side. You can decorate the other side. You can attach it here. Or you can do something completely different if you want. I got out my little antique buttons that we can attach. Or you can take and attach. Where did they go? I got out my little things here that I punched. Let me get out a couple of these. Let's see, are these glued together? No, they are not. So you can glue some of these together and punch something in the top. And here's some charms. I like charms on these. Oh my gracious. The only... come on. Let's get that ink out of the way here. And I also like lace on them. So let's glue some of this together here. So I'm just gluing, these are just 1-inch cardstock circles. Whenever I have scraps left that I really can't do anything with, like the one that we cut the big 5-inch circle out of, in a previous video. For the front of our journal. I like to take what's left of that, like this one here. Like, there's not really much I can do with this, so I'll take my punches, my 1/2 inch and my 1 inch punch, and I'll punch, and I'll just put them in here, and I'll use them for closures, and I'll use them for things like that. So now I have this, and this glue will dry really quick, and I can take one of these little charms, and I can hang off of it. But I can also take this little piece of lace, and I can hang it off. I can put this up here and hang it, or I can hang a button. I can take these little antique buttons that I have. I have little wooden buttons here. I have all these little antique buttons that I collect. Oops. You know, so there's all kinds of things that you can hang off of it. You can just, you can decorate them any way that you choose. It's totally up to you. You can put washi tape on it. Decorate it however you choose to decorate it. But I love using charms on mine. So I think that's what I'm going to do with this little piece of lace. I'm going to put a little piece of lace on mine. And this time I'm going to use another little dilly bop. Come here, you. And I have a yellow one looking right here in my head, or right in my face, right in my head. That didn't make any sense, did it? Okay. So I'm going to take this little piece of lace. And I'm going to put that. I think I might need to glue it down a little bit though, because it's kind of running rampant here. Okay, let's do that. Now I will glue Wendy's page, or I will glue, good gravy, I will attach Wendy's page in the description for you. Okay, I don't think that bead's gonna go around there. I think it's too big. See, I always do these things backwards. Okay. Come on. Straighten up. And then just attach it right through your fabric that you have on there. There. Now you've got one right there. And then you can save these little things that you glued together for another project, for like when we do closures, or we do something else like that. Okay, so now you have your, all right, let's put that over there. Now you could also just attach a little piece of scrap fabric if you wanted. Oh my goodness. There. Let's put that out of the way so we can see what we have now. All right, so we have another page. There. So now we have another belly band here. And we also have this one. Now, in my book, I always write where I saw the idea from. So, over here, I'm going to write, okay, Wendy's Journal Adventure. YouTube. Okay, and I will link her page for you guys so that you can watch her. She's very talented, and I'm sure you will enjoy watching her. And I'm just going to take a piece of scrap paper here and slide under here. Okay, maybe I don't have it folded small enough. And then the next time we make something, we can slide it under there like that. And then we'll put something on the other side. Like that. There we go. So my idea book is growing and growing. So the next time, I think we're going to work on something else from my idea book. I haven't quite decided yet. We've done several of these split pockets. I'm thinking we're going to add some of these type of pockets. Already have many of those made up for you guys. We've already done that. Okay, so I want to thank you guys for joining me today, and I hope you had some fun, and I hope you enjoyed our little project, and I also hope that you give it a try. Now I've already lost it. There it is. And I hope you give it a try, and I also hope that you go visit Wendy over on her page. There we go. There's the two of them. I hope that you give Wendy a visit over on her page. There. There. So, until I see you again here on the Ladybug Journals, don't forget to leave me a like and a comment. And let me know how you liked this. And if you'd like to see more things like this, I would appreciate that. And we'll continue working in our little journal. It's filling up very nicely. And we're just about done with it. And I have 2 more really fun journals planned starting in February. We're going to do 2 of them back to back. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so much fun. So until I see you then in our next video, ta-ta for now.